profanity at somebody. Yes, sir.
So, can I just ask, where are you at, or why is the Bible and the Christian view of God more correct than other views of God, such as the Jewish God and the Torah, or the Islamic God, or the Muslim God and the Quran?
All right, great question. Why would the Christian scriptures be more reliable than, say, the Jewish or the Islamic scriptures? And of course, we believe the Jewish scriptures. The Torah is part of our Bible. This is the Bible. And real quick, this is the Jewish part of the Bible, and it's in ours. This first part. This is the Christian part, the New Testament. So we believe the whole thing. Jews will only believe this much. Okay, we believe the whole thing. Muslims don't believe it. Now they say respect it, but they don't believe it. They think we've changed it, corrupted, and so on. You know what I'd say is this. Imagine the writers of the Bible as being sincere, genuine, honest people. They gave us of all the scriptures, you know, the different religions. They weren't just trying to trick us and lie to us and be con men. They were trying to communicate something very, very important to them. Okay? And they did so, just like I did. I'm not going to con you. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going to tell you what I sincerely believe. Likewise, I'm going to give the writers of the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Torah, or the Quran, the same benefit of the doubt. Okay? So then you ask yourself what they say. What do they write about? And the truth is, there's nothing in the Quran to validate it as being from God other than they said so. They said so. You believe it's from God? Why? Because I say so. That's it. But in the Bible, if you come to a Muslim, you say, why would I believe in Muhammad and Allah? And they say, well, it's in the Quran. Well, how do I know the Quran's true? Well, it came from God. Well, how do I know that? Well, God gave a vision, revelations to Muhammad. Well, how do I know they're from God? You don't ask that question. You just accept that. But if you're asking a Christian, why do you believe in Christ? Well, the stories in the Bible. I believe, well, how do I know the Bible's true? Well, the people who wrote it, they were there, and Jesus did things according to the Bible no man could do. He rose from the dead. No one else. See, there's the thing we don't understand. Muhammad never did a real miracle. His miracle is he gave us a book.
His miracle was that he couldn't read or write.
And he didn't write the book. He recited it.
Yeah.
And others wrote it down and memorized it and assembled it, 80, 90 years after his death.
His miracle was education.
Miracle was education.
He didn't know how to write.
And he didn't write.
But he said everything was
Okay. He didn't know how to write. He recited it. Others wrote it down. How do we know you're from God? I gave a book. I'm illiterate, but I recited something. Other people wrote it down. That's my miracle. Don't you question it? I don't know. I'm going to go with the guy who rose from the dead instead. I mean, I've written a book. Now, in my case, it was somewhat miraculous. Yeah, I realize that. But many people have written books. Atheists have written books. Agnostics have written books. Atheists don't rise from the dead. Agnostics don't rise from the dead. Normal people don't rise from the dead. If you rise from the dead, there's something going on there. Jesus was declared with power to be the Son of God through the resurrection from the dead. All right? That's what sets him apart. So you ask yourself, Krishna, he won some battles. Buddha, he meditated. Muhammad gave us a book. Jesus died, laid in his grave 3 days, and then he conquered death. Who are you going to go with? Now, assuming you can't go with all of them, which one's the greater credibility to you? In all honesty, assuming those things are true, which one is the greater credibility? I'm going to go with the guy who rose from the dead. I don't know about you. I can't do that. I bet you there's people here who are going to write a book in your lifetime. not incredibly special? He rise from the dead, declared with power to be the Son of God through the resurrection. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? All religions are not the same. All the messages are not the same. Sure, all religions say be nice, get along with one another. But religion is primarily about how to reach God. Secondarily, about how to treat your fellow man. Religion is primarily about theology. How do you reach God? Jesus said the first commandment is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength. The second commandment is to love your neighbors yourself. So whereas all religions may say get along with one another, don't be selfish, be nice, love one another, things like that, they have different paths or different ways of how to reach God. Some would say it's through karma. You get paid back what you did in that life or previous life. Some would say it's through keeping pillars and living good deeds and trying hard. But Christianity teaches you cannot, because of your sinfulness, you cannot reach God on your own. You must receive what God has done to reach out to you. God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son, Jesus, that whoever believes in Him would not perish but have eternal life. God sent His Son to save us. He didn't say save yourself. He said let me save you. That's a big, big difference. Great question. Sorry for my long answer. You're welcome. Who else has something on their mind today? Yes, ma'am. God is all powerful and all knowing.
So could He create something that He couldn't do? Well, then wouldn't He? If He couldn't create it, then He's not all powerful.
Okay.
There's a difference between resurrection and
God is all
rising
powerful,
from
there are
the dead.
things He can't do.
People who are resurrected don't come back. They stay alive. They never die again. Lazarus died again. I just wanted to distinguish those two for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though God is all powerful, meaning He created the earth, the heavens and the earth with His word, meaning He can give life to that which is dead, there are things God cannot do. For instance, God cannot stop being God. God cannot violate who He is. God cannot do evil. God cannot lie. God cannot be other than God. So He is who He is. Now that's no reflection on His power. It's simply saying God will always be God. He will never be contrary to who He is. Okay?
Contrary to the definition of being all powerful.
So the question becomes, when you say, like, can God make a rock so big it can't move?
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying is, can God do what God cannot do? That's the question. All right? And the answer is obviously no. Obviously no, because what you're asking here is, can God violate Himself? Can God be contrary to who He is? And the answer is no. God will always be God. So, can God do what God can't do? No, because God will always be God. So, I can't point to the rock other than sometimes the rock of our own heart that He doesn't move. We got to move it ourselves. We got to respond to Him. But to say that if we can think of this like, can God make a square circle? No. Can God do what God cannot do? I'd say no, because it's violating logic. Logic comes from God. Reason comes from God. Can God do what is not logically possible to be done? The answer is no, because God is God would never act, shall we say, in a way that violates His laws of logic. Does that make sense?
He's not all powerful.
Well, you got to properly define all powerful.
Right.
All powerful means He can. There's nothing you can. I mean, He can make the whole universe with a word, but He can't violate who He is. Yes.
The way I've heard it said is that it's not required for an omnipotent being to do that which is logically impossible. That's not a requirement for omnipotence. The definition is, can God do all things that are logically possible? The answer is yes.
Okay, there you go. That's a good way of stating it.
Yeah.
He helps me out many a time. Quite articulate. Rich used to be a professor of neuroscience down at the University of Georgia. And at that time, believe it or not, he was an atheist. You know, not only was he an atheist, he was in fact the advisor for the Atheist Club. And so he was like one of the better known atheists on the campus. And things changed. And now look at him. He's trying to educate students in what really, really, really matters. And can I tell you, you think I'm joking, but I'm serious. What we're talking about here is more important than anything you're going to hear at the University of Minnesota in any of your classrooms. I'm not saying you got to drop out. I'm not saying you shouldn't get an education. I'm not saying you should never be an, engineer or whatever you're going to be. But what we're talking about here, these 3 days, is more significant in eternity in the long run in your life than anything else. And I commend Rich that whereas he used to teach neuroscience, now he's teaching theology because he understands that is what matters most. And so I applaud you guys for listening, thinking, processing. I know not everybody here agrees with me, but at least you're listening, thinking, processing, considering, and to figure this stuff out, the most important thing you're going to do in your lifetime. The sooner you do it, the better. The sooner you do it, the better. My father-in-law, he was a very, very successful engineer. And he had everything, he had money, he had a happy family, he was very, very well respected in his field. He had all these things, but he didn't, he was basically agnostic towards God throughout his life. After he retired, he finally had time to really think about this. And he thought about it for years.